How much time was that?
It was a minute and a half. That's going to be plenty.
Yeah. Ready? And this is the bottom line. Hey everybody, I'm Doug, and this is... And I'm Doug. What Paige is in here? Huh? I don't care if Paige is on vacation. You just can't show up. All right, whatever. We'll figure it out. Hey, listen, everybody. I'm Doug, and this is the and me. And this is the bottom line. We love you guys. Big squares. I don't know what that means. I got to tell you right now with the party, okay? You guys are RSVP, and that's good. But you know what? We're filling up fast. So if you guys really want to get a couple of free drinks, go RSVP, and then you get some drink tickets. Now, it doesn't mean you can't show up at the party, but you know, everybody likes free drinks, so it's a no-brainer. They're free. Okay, let's just jump right into our sponsors. First one, of course, is Marine Data Solutions. By the way, Marine Data Solutions just opened up a new factory with boxes and boxes. They're going to bring some data to the party. But anyway, if I've got 99 problems on board, what are you doing? No, hit the button. Oh. There you go.
The internet's not one of them.
And Salty Rags Crew Apparel. Now, Salty Rags, you know what? You don't want to see anybody naked on a boat. I guess they do have nude cruises down in the Virgin Islands. I don't know how that works. That's kind of weird. But anyway, if you need uniforms, go check out Salty Rags. They also do bedding. They also do just about anything, embroidery, stuff like that. We also have interior technology services. They clean everything. If they clean the ceilings, they clean the carpets, they clean the upholstery. Now, if you're an MCA vessel, you need a certificate for fire retardancy. They can provide that. Instead of calling Russ, because he's been getting a lot of calls, and he's like, Doug, please stop. All right, call Miros, and he'll take care of you. All right? And lastly, don't forget about Hargrave Custom Yachts. Now, why does a cruise show care about custom yacht building? Well, it's the middle word, custom. I've been through this process. If your boss is looking for a yacht, and you're a captain, a engineer, a chief stew, or a chef, y'all totally in on the build process. It's so cool. You can move walls around. You can put stuff exactly where you want it. As long as the owner signs off on it, Hargrave will do it, and that's no joke. Okay, let's jump into yacht industry news. But first, out. Let's go. Out. Stay there. All right. Before I even want to get into yacht industry news, I want to let you guys know of a couple more sponsors for the party. That's Admiral Canvas and Dave Hull from Marina Mile Yachting Center. Both of these guys chipped in for the party. That means more free drinks for you. Admiral Canvas, really good guys. What did they do? They do enclosures. I mean, come on. Someone say party? You. Out. And Dave Hull from Marina Mile Yachting Center. He has a graving dock. What makes that great is because he can bring some really big boats in. You don't have to go up on a travel lift, you know, especially older boats and big steel boats. It's really nice. Okay, let's jump right in it. I've been doing this a long time. I know of the motor yacht Time when it was launched. Of course, I was much younger, but it's a 126 foot, built by Palmer Johnson, designed by Tom Fexis. It was cutting edge back then, and now it's breaking records again. So what they're going to do with it up in St. Lucie County is make a recreational reef out of it. Now, why is it breaking records? This is going to be the first yacht to ever become a reef. And I guess that's pretty cool. I'd love to go dive on it. And you know, the thing with these reefs is they take so much out that you can't even stand there. I want to grab the wheel and pretend I'm underwater, but okay. Anyway, next thing I want to talk about is our trip south. So we did New York to Fort Lauderdale in 3.5 days, and that's pretty good. And of course, you have to be offshore the whole time. Every captain out there, we've all been out at sea, and it sometimes you're like, yeah, if something goes wrong, I'm 100 miles offshore. So it's always cool to travel in a fleet. And because of the bad weather, it bottled everybody up, and we were in a fleet. So here's Lloyd on another Hargrave, and we ran from New York to Charleston. I pulled into Charleston to refuel for about 3 hours. And then I went around Cape Hatteras, and you can see that this is Brandon on his 157, and he took video of me, and I took video of him. It's really cool. You know, it just gives you, I always feel a little better knowing there's other boats out there when I'm out of range of the Coast Guard, and I feel even more, more better, is that a word? More better? When I know the people on the boats, and we talk on the radio. So if you can ever figure that out, it's always, you know, cruising in couples, cruise like that. Okay, so next, Deerfield Beach has got a new resident. This is weird. This is not yacht related, but this is hurricane related. And by the way, because of the hurricane, everybody was displaced and a lot of boats, a lot of damage. I'm not going to throw a million pictures up to get views. Everybody at the bottom line hopes that everybody on the west coast of Florida, gets back to normal. But back to Deerfield, new resident, an alligator in the ocean on the beach. How did it get there? Nobody knows. Obviously, it was right after a hurricane. So somehow that thing got washed out of Lake Okeechobee or whatever it was, down the ICW, out in the ocean, and then it tried to get back on land to get back to the Everglades in Deerfield Beach. It's just something you don't see every day. Okay, next, Melanie White, a chief stewardess and now chef, I'm not sure, I'm not quite clear on that, has just produced a book. It's out. It's called Behind Ocean Lines. Get it? It's a little play on words, behind enemy lines. First of all, okay, we're not at war on the yachts. Fire! I'll just leave that alone. All right. Anyway, so in this book, she talks about life on yachts. And, I haven't read the book. I'm going to probably breeze through the first 5 pages, but I did read some of the excerpts from it. A couple of things I want to clear up. She said this is for crew members that find themselves working under individuals with no leadership skills, slugging through 18-hour days, blah, blah, blah. As a captain, I want everybody to know that every captain out there does not lack leadership skills. And 18-hour days, well, it's yachting. I'll talk more about this in Crew Corner. I'm not trashing the book. I haven't read it. Go check it out. Take it with a grain of salt. She's only been in the industry 4 or 5 years. It's not like she's a lifelong career and then put it to paper 4 or 5 years. But good luck to you, Melanie. I hope it's a good book. I will read it. Okay, where are we going now? Now we're going to Tech Talk. Okay, this week on Tech Talk, we're talking about sea time. Technically speaking, if you're at sea, you get time. So let's just go through it. Who gets sea time? Okay, first of all, you have to be over 16 years old. That's when it starts. You can't be like, oh, I've been boating since I was 10, signing off on my dad's pontoon. It doesn't work. 16 and up. All right, the second thing is you have to be in the position of deck or engineering. What's that mean? That means if you're a stewardess, chef, blah, 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 you're not on the deck department. Technically, you're not gaining sea days. And I know everybody's going to go ape, over that, but I'm just telling you what the Coast Guard says. All right, next, you need 8 hours underway to get 1 day. And before everybody, according to the Coast Guard, it's 8 hours. Now, if you're on a vessel less than 100 tons, you only need 4 hours. Okay, so that's who needs, who can get it, what department you're in, and how many days do you get? Well, the answer is 1. Even if you're 8 hours or 4 hours, it's still 1. If you've been out for 16 hours, that's not 3 days. I also know some people are like, oh, well, I was working on the boat today. That counts as a sea day. You have to be underway. Okay, next. If you are on a vessel less than 200 gross tons, you use the small sea service form. If you're on a vessel over 200 gross tons, you need a letter from an officer of the vessel or the company on a company letterhead, and there's a blank form that you can fill out. It has to tell you the particulars of the boat, and then you break it down that way. I give all my crew the letter, all right? And I'm also going to say this: don't fudge your sea time. I've had sea time kicked back because the Coast Guard's like, well, we want to see the log. It happens once in a while, but it's very embarrassing if it happens to you. Okay, lastly, for those of you who are like, oh, well, I was underway 24 hours, I want a time and a half. That's a day and a half. Technically, you can get that, but you have to be on a vessel that the Coast Guard requires you to be on board. In other words, they set the manning requirements for the boats, and if your position is required and you're running a two-watch system, which means 12 and 12, you can get a day and a half. If you are not on a vessel that you're required to be on by Coast Guard manning requirements, okay, and you stand like a 3-watch system, even if you stand a 2-watch system, it's still only 1 day. This is U.S. Coast Guard. I know MCA is different. Everybody's different. I'm just talking about Coast Guard. We'll talk about the other ones. So anyway, everybody run out there and get your sea time because that's the first step to get a license. And don't forget, being in the bathtub counts as seat time if you're playing with little model boats. Okay, what are we doing in now? Let's jump into bottom feeders. Let's do bottom feeders. I'll give you bottom feeders. Go, do it. Goody goody. Bottom feeders, here we go. My time to shine. All right, we're going to give a big shout out to Gary Dunselman. All right, he did a flyby. Take a look at this video. All right, we were offshore off the coast of Florida. He was running some Go Fast, and actually it's a photo. He was running this Go Fast, and the night before he goes, "Oh, I'll send you, I'll do a flyby and send a picture." So that's thanks for watching, Dave Hull. Why am I giving a shout out to Dave Hull from Marina Mile Yachting Center? Because Dave loves the show and he just wants to give you guys free drinks. So please show up. I mean, give me a break. The guy's going to give you free drinks. Okay, and then the third one is Jared Drunglinger. Okay, now, I know we have a lot of fans that watch the show, but he is actually a ranch hand in Georgia. Maybe he wants to get into yachting. Anyway, to all three of our bottom feeders today, thanks for watching. We love you guys. Keep watching. A lot of good things coming up. All right, good job. You out. And it's time for Crew Corner, and we all know that Crew Haven sponsors Crew Corner. We love Jamie over there. Listen, if you're doing a refit, if you're doing anything that you have to get crew off the boat, call Jamie. I mean, these places are like the creme de la creme. Let's face it, all right? They don't drag anchor. You don't have to stand night watch. And if a storm comes, just open up another beer. I mean, captains, don't stay there. Give the crew a break. All right, give me a break. Give me a break, and give them a break. Don't just kind of, when you're there, it feels like you're on the boat. All right, anyway, that is Crew Haven at 1501, crewhaven.com. 1501 is when they were founded. All right, this week in Crew Corner, we're going to talk about, we always talk about what the crew want. Let's talk about what the owners want. Now, I've been doing this an awful long time. All right, and when I first started out in yachting, I would go to the bar, say G&T's Pizza or Abracadabras down in Antigua, and I would put the word out, hey, I need crew. And then the next morning, all the little Muppets would show up, and I would interview them, and we would eventually hire somebody. That was it. At the end of the month, we gave them a bucket load of cash. We did everything in cash, and there was no STCW, and that was it. You know, that was life on yachting. Everybody has pushed yachting into this higher level. Now we have all these regulations and we have all this training, and now everybody needs to be licensed. And that's good for the industry. The biggest thing that everyone has been complaining about is yachting's a career. I mean, this is a real profession. Even my dad, when I first started, was, oh, you made your hobby a career. No, it's not a hobby, Dad. I agree with all of you, okay? And we are now in paperwork craziness. But what do owners think? Owners don't care. I'm sorry. I hate to break the news to you. They don't care about all this. The last thing they want to do is run another corporation with employees. The first thing they want to do is get on their boat and have someone serve them a drink, make their bed, and have good food. They don't want to get involved in all this. It's kind of like a bummer for them. I've had owners, come up to me, oh, I sold the boat. I'm like, why'd you sell the boat? He goes, crew, Doug. Number one reason, crew. I couldn't deal with it. It was like I'm running this little, babysitting company. Owners just want to have a drink, go to the deserted island, play around on the jet skis. They want to build memories for their family. They don't want to get involved with every little thing that goes on with the crew. And the last thing they want to do is take the place of your parents, okay? I hate to say this, they don't care about your career either. The one big thing that's always been true in yachting is you make your own career. Okay, don't expect an owner for you to make you go up the ladder. You want to go up the ladder, you got to switch boats, you've got to get bigger licenses, and you have to make that happen. Sitting back and going, oh, what about me, isn't going to work. They don't even own the boat in 5 years. They're not concerned with what your career is going to be in 10 years. And lastly, the last thing they want to do is be an employer-employee corporate relationship. They just don't want it. The guy wants to smoke a cigar on the back. Now, there is one difference. If you're on a boat that's a charter boat, and I predominantly run charter boats, maybe for this reason, then it is a company. Then it is a corporation. Then they have employees. Then there's money changing hands. There's things to answer to. So that would be one situation that you should get into if you're looking for that structure. If you're on a private yacht and the guy's like, oh, I don't care what you do, I just want my bed made, all right? If you're looking for structure, that's probably not it. So just keep this in mind, and I'll leave you with this. if owners knew what some captains and crew did, I mean, I'll give you an example. I saw a receipt for $300 worth of razors. And I'm like, why do we have $300 worth? Well, we need all these razors, these Mach 3 razors. I'm like, for what? He goes, well, you want the boys to shave every day. If the owners found out that he was paying for the crew's razor blades, we only go out for a week at a time. Go out and buy your own goddamn razors. I mean, they're not your parents. They're not here to take up the slack after you leave home. This is a job, all right? When you're done, you get paid and you move on to your next job. Don't forget, you are in charge of your own career, not your boss. Now, I have awesome owners, and there are very awesome owners out there that are totally into this. I'm just saying that there are a lot that aren't. There are a lot that's like, selling the boat, you guys are gone, bye. All right, so just keep that in mind. Okay, that's it for the bottom line this week. Never forget.
Doug.
I'm Doug, and
Look down.
okay, and he's Doug. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget about the big party. It's going to be huge. We're going to have a lot of fun. Please show up. We would love that. I'll see you next week. I'm going to do the thing. I don't know. Boom, boom, boom. Ka-chung.